Revenge! Nothing is quite as sweet, except for maybe a surprise microphone. Guys, listen up. Today we are browsing on Reddit, r/PettyRevenge. We've got some really good stories for you today. Listen up, buckle in, listen in, buckle in. First story. Ran into the guy who didn't give me a job I wanted a few weeks later in the bathroom. I had just gone to Chipotle for lunch, so I closed myself in a stall. I knew I had to go pretty bad. This is very relatable. Just as I was about to sit down, I saw through the crack in the door the douche that interviewed me a few weeks before, who led me to believe I would be getting a promotion and moving out of my department. He went to the stall in the end. As soon as I heard his stall door close and him sit down, I unleashed the sheer fury of Chipotle in that porcelain bowl, along with loud, booming toilet farts. It was truly a hellacious onslaught of sound and smell. I heard him go, ugh! I finished my business and rushed out after washing my hands and left him there in the reek. I would not, in this instance, say that this was a case of sweet revenge. Even petty revenge. I think this is just you had a horrible time in the bathroom and you needed some kind of justification for it. I feel like I think this was something horrific that you did and that you stapled revenge onto it to justify what you did in that bathroom. I can't, cause either way, you were in that toilet and you were going to do what you were going to do anyway. And the fact that you kind of dressed it up and made it feel like, you know, you're in there doing this intentionally to hurt somebody else, man, no. The only person in danger's way is really you. I mean, it's him, of course, as well. You know, and I'm sure you think he's a douche or whatever, but I'm just saying, get your bowels checked out. You know what I'm saying? Because this is like one of those things where nobody wins here. Revenge should make you feel good. You just kind of exploded in a bathroom. You know what I mean? Revenge usually makes you go, I got him. You know, and this is like, you didn't just get him because it's like throwing a grenade at somebody who's standing right next to you. You know, the grenade's going off. It's going to hurt you as well. Let's see what people say about this one. This one was a revenge. Who does number 2 work for? You know what's really funny is I introduced Rob Lowe at SCAD's graduation last year. And I actually did this. I did that on stage because I thought it'd be funny and nobody laughed. You know, guys, in order to prevent us from being completely grossed out, I think we need to do a little bit more eye bleach today. That's what I think. Moo Dang protecting mom's food from the wild monkeys. Oh, that is such a cute little... Oh, it's such a cute little shiny hippo. Don't let the monkeys eat the food, hippo. Yeah. Oh, yes. Get the monkey. Yes, get the monkey. Yes, you run around. He looks like a slug. You know what I'm saying? He just looks like a little slug. Hold the elevator on me, will you? I live in a small building, 11 stories high. Now, the people above me have been getting on our nerves for months now, particularly when it comes to calling the elevator to their floor and holding it open for like half an hour waiting for a kid/mother/husband in their apartment to join them, stopping others from calling the elevator to their floor. This sounds really annoying. This is something that I would get really annoyed by. A small building that's 11 stories high and it seems like there's only one elevator? Come on, dude. What are you doing? I'm really ready for some sweet revenge. Sweet revenge. Some sweet revenge. Oh, sweet revenge. Sweet revenge. I'm looking for sweet revenge. It happened again yesterday. She held it open for like 10 minutes, knew what was coming, so I decided to walk the 9 stories down. No big deal. But since they always do this, on my way down, I passed the call button to the elevator on every floor, so when they do finally get around to using it, they'll be stopping on every floor before making it down. They don't know it was me. That's fine. It's really enacted like a minor inconvenience. It's good. It is petty. This one I think is petty revenge. But was it sweet? I don't know. Is it sweet? What do you guys think? Was that sweet revenge? It was very petty because you went out of your way. You added more effort than was necessary to get something done. But it was a bit. I think if you're going to do revenge on somebody, you want them to learn something. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure if anybody learned anything here. I'm not sure. I really don't know. You know, maybe this person was like, oh, that's weird. Well, a prankster just hit one on every floor. Maybe. There should be a note in the elevator that says, hey, please stop holding the elevator. That's what I would probably do. Pettiest revenge possible. Yeah, it does seem, this one is truly true to the form. This was definitely petty revenge. This one is definitely, you're going out of your way to get out of the stairs, hit the elevator button, and go down. This one is less like you're throwing a grenade in your own foxhole. This one is more like it's like a junior grenade, and you're tossing it over a fence, over a small fence. And they may not even notice the grenade, to be honest. Petty's revenge possible? Haha, thanks. Yes, when I finally made it downstairs, they still weren't down. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna rate this revenge. Okay, if the first one was the guy dookie in the bathroom after Chipotle, I'm gonna give that a number 2 out of 10. This one, as far as petty revenge goes, the pettiness is off the charts. To where I don't even know if they'll notice. You know what I'm saying? I would give this one probably like a solid 5.5. You know, because I don't feel like vindicated. You know, I'll give it a 6. All right, eye bleach time. Oh, look at Maria. Oh, look at Maria. Oh, look at Adelheid. Oh, I see. It's German. Yeah, good thing I put the accent on there. So the vet said she had a phantom pregnancy. Louise. Oh, look at Louise, the little puppy eyes. What is this, a border collie? Australian Shepherd? Oh, yes. Amalia. These puppies are gorgeous. Kunigunde Otto. I like Otto's vibe. I like the name Otto as well. Oh, look at the little face. Oh, he looks like he howls. This dog looks like he howls a lot. Big old snoot. Oh, I'm having such a good time. Oh, this one's so shy and cute. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love dogs. She tried to plagiarize my work. I went nuclear. Okay. Pausing here. Plagiarizing somebody else's work with them knowing about it. For example, like it was like, hey man, can I copy off your test? I said, yeah, sure, whatever. You know, just dress it up. Get a couple wrong. You know what I mean? That's one thing. You know, there have been instances where people have copied my exact title and thumbnail styles. Now, you know, there are some people copying like the accidentally write songs thing on Reels and YouTube Shorts and stuff, and that's kind of weird to me because you know that was the thing that I really brought to the table, you know, for a while, and now I'm seeing other people kind of get in there, and it just feels weird. You know, is that plagiarism? No, there's a lot of copycats out there. That's fine, and intentionally or not, I'm sure that I did accidentally copy a sketch when the continuity is really bad. My friends, Chris and Jack, made a sketch about bad continuity in movies like 7 years ago. And I did an extremely similar sketch. I'm not sure if I watched their continuity sketch or not, but I got a lot of comments saying like a lot of these jokes are the same. And that don't feel good, you know? A lot of times that can happen. A lot of times plagiarism can happen by accident, but this seems to be intentional. So let's see this. During my freshman year at university, I had been working on a group project with 4 other people. We had completed an experiment as part of a physics module, and each needed to write a report, approximately 2,500 words, to be assessed. As the deadline for this module fell slap bang in the middle of a really active few weeks, I took the uncharacteristically organized decision to write and submit my report a few weeks early. Congratulations! That is some sweet on-time behavior. I wish I could be that guy, dude. When I was in college, first week of every quarter, I would be like, you know what? I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna get my stuff done early. I'm gonna get it done on time. I'm gonna have so much time for activity. I'm gonna just hang out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be that dude. Early dude. Captain Early. So that way I have time to socialize. You always think that. You always think that in college. You're never able to do it, though. Not me, personally. But this person did it. Congrats to them. Feel free to party over varsity week. Whoop, whoop. Good for you. One of my, I don't know what that means. That sounds like Greek life stuff, and I am not that boy. One of my colleagues left everything until the last minute and called me in a panic 2 days before the due date and asked if I could share my report with her so that she could understand how to structure the report and present the data. This seems very pre-ChatGPT. Me being a bit dopey and probably still a bit intoxicated from a week of partying sent her my report in its entirety. That's a very nice thing you did. Congrats. The following day, night before the submission, she called me again and asked if I could proofread her report and make any minor adjustments I saw fit before she submitted. I agreed and she emailed the document over. Much to my horror, she had basically copied and pasted my entire report. I couldn't believe that she was moronic enough to send me the report to look at, given that she had plagiarized the whole thing. This is where I became quite vengeful and petty. Pause. That sucks because, you know what? You did all that work. You did all that labor. You wrote the report. Even if she rewrote your words in her own words, the fact that you were the one to go through all that labor and come up with the original data and come up with the original thesis or whatever, the 2,500 words for her to just use as a skeleton and just give it a different pair of pants. Sucks. That sucks that you had to do that. You know what I mean? It sucks. You know, a lot of people understand being in a group project and being the only person actually actively, getting the work done. There's a lot of y'all out there, I'm sure, watching this video right now. But this is even worse because it wasn't even a group project. It was just Yeah, let me show you my thing, whatever. I first used the find and replace function on Word and replaced commonly used words from our experiment with vulgarities. I then replaced a step-by-step methodology from our experiment with a step-by-step recipe for spaghetti bolognese. The data table was replaced with the box scores from the NFL games that weekend. I took the time to change the authors' names in her references to characters from Harry Potter, i.e. Weasley et al. 2009, Dumbledore and Grindelwald 2008. To top things off, I rewrote her conclusion as a confession that she had attempted to plagiarize the report. I sent the revised document to her and fully expected to receive an angry phone call in response. Pause. This means that you revised it to be like, oh, this is my little letter to you saying, hey, I called you out on your bullshit. We both know what happened here. Don't do that. That's what that is. That's what this person's expectations were. But here we go. Let's see something like this. I did receive an angry phone call 3 weeks later when she was called in for a faculty meeting due to academic misconduct. Apparently, being the dingbat she was, she had not even proofread the document I had sent to her and had submitted it. She hadn't just failed the module, but was under threat of expulsion as through trying to blame me for the content of the document, she had inadvertently admitted to attempted plagiarism. Upon returning to the faculty 5 years later as a research fellow, I discovered that the director of teaching had kept a copy of the report and routinely showed it to students as a warning not to plagiarize. That is awesome. The fact that 5 years later, the director of teaching kept a copy to be like, this is sweet. That revenge is so sweet. It's in the lore of the college. 5 years later? That's something else. That is good revenge. That is sweet revenge. I would get, you know what, before I continue to the comments, I'm going to rate this revenge. This is a good 8. This is a good 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Because the crime was not, to me, who would see this as some okay, you know what? You're going to plagiarize me? That's all right. I'm going to use this as leverage. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do. I would use it as leverage, social leverage. I'll be like, you know what? I see what you did. You kind of copied a lot of my stuff. I want you to do that, but there's something I need you to do for me. That's what I would do. Just because it was a surprise and it's a bit insulting and she's going to use it anyway. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. So is the crime worth the response, the revenge? I don't know. You almost got somebody expelled. You're a bit of you are a bit of and I am this way as well. I'm also this way, but in this instance, it's a bit of like a goody two shoes is what people would refer to that. Yeah, but the fact that you came back as a research fellow, you're clearly an academic. And like, if you take academia seriously, this is a very serious thing. So yeah, you're an academic. You're an academic, and not a goody two shoes. I take that back. In fact, you're an academic, and so for you, this is critical. This is a huge error and an insulting thing that this other person did. But I'm still going to give it an 8. It would be a perfect 10 if you also heard this person like insulting you behind your back. You know what I mean? That the director of teaching kept it is the piece de resistance, which I think is a Chinese phrase. I have no idea how that's actually spelled. Primo job! You can just cut and paste the correct spelling from someone else's work. For those interested, the experiment we wrote our report on was the Young's double slit experiment, or in the case of my colleague, Young's double experiment. You know what? This is too big for my brain. I'm gonna look at this golden retriever now called Gandalf the Golden. Oh, how is he doing that? Oh, he looks so wise. Senior dog finishes last but gets the biggest cheer. Oh, that's a happy little weenie dog. Oh, look at it go. I really enjoy this dog. Let's hear it finish. Let's hear it go. Let's hear it finish. That's good. Boss chiseled me out of $100 and paid the price. I'm a contractor. While working on a project in a very remote location, I arranged to buy and bring 2 rounds of breakfast tacos for the staff of the county facility where I would be working for the next week in exchange for free copy privileges. Copy privilege? I don't know what that means. Probably use the copy machine. I don't know. The boss gave approval on the phone, and the total for the tacos that week came out to just over $100. A great exchange, as the copy budget was upwards of $1,000. What are copy privileges in this circumstance? I have no idea. My receipts, along with the supporting credit card statement I submitted at the end of the billing cycle between a week and 2 weeks after he'd verbally approved the expenses, was declined. I wasn't too angry, but a deal's a deal, and I called the boss to remind him he'd approved the expense. His response, "You should have gotten it in writing," pissed me off royally. But I finished the project as promised and was working on another project for another client less than a week later. A couple of months go by, and the boss who'd chiseled me out of the money called to see if I was available to work on another project beginning on the 1st of the next month, and after some haggling, I agreed. The work schedule would be tight, and in his words, this was an all-hands-on-deck project with nights and weekends expected. I was also told this was a new client that they wanted to impress. Wow, big job with the same guy who cheated you out of some coin. A couple of days before the project was set to begin, the chiseler called to tell me the engagement paperwork was on the way and check my email. I told him I decided not to work the project after all, and he was furious. He screamed, "You agreed to work on this project weeks ago." I repeated his words verbatim. "You should have gotten it in writing." You know what this is? This is the Spider-Man thing where Tobey Maguire's like, "That sounds like or that's not my problem." You know what I mean? The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. You guys know what I'm talking about? Where he's like, you guys, you know what I'm saying? He's like, "That's not my problem" to the robber, because the guy was supposed to hand him more money, and he said, "That's not my problem." That's revenge. That's petty revenge. But then he killed Uncle Ben. So this guy probably also killed Uncle Ben. I think one of them killed Uncle Ben. And I'm going to find out who did it. I'm going to find them. I'm going to rate this. This to me is good. This is really good. Because it's a waste of the boss's time, because you wasted your time and money, and it's a waste of the boss's time and money. Their input was like 5 jabs to the face. Your response was 20 jabs to the face. I think this is tit for tat. I will give this revenge a very sweet 9 out of 10. This is a 9 out of 10 revenge. Let's see what the comments say. Had a director do a verbal contracts aren't worth the paper they're written on regarding back pay on a contract change. I agreed with him and immediately canceled all my shifts as I was no longer under any contractual obligation. Told them if they decided to rethink their attitude regarding verbal contracts to call me. They called. Sometimes when they think they hold all the power, it's good to remind them that they have nothing without workers. That is absolutely correct. You want to call somebody's bluff? Don't work for them. See what happens. That is good revenge. I love this. Who the hell does that? Oh my God, I didn't even switch to the Osmo. Look at these freaks over here. There they go. Look at them. They live there. I feed them once a week. If they're really good, I let them take themselves out for ice cream. On a leash. All right, let's get out of here. Landlord doubled her business property's rent. We own a dance studio. First of all, I love dance studios. I love empty spaces where practice is supposed to happen, like theaters, places with mirrors, like those little soft floors that occur in dance studios. I love places like that. So owning a dance studio, I would own a dance studio just to have it. Just to have that little, you know what I mean? The little squishy floor you could bounce around on, you could roll on. I think it's because when I was a kid, I used to do karate, taekwondo, martial arts, stuff like that. And those little kind of squishy floors, I don't know, they just feel good. And the sound of them, like when you're walking on them, the little squishiness. Oh, I love that. Oh. We own a dance studio. It doesn't make a lot, but it's not bad. At the end of the contract period, the landlord doubled the rent. That would kill a lot of profit, so of course, we could not accept it. Landlord took photos of the place, all decked out in mirrors, nice wall coverings, beautiful bathroom, and listed it as perfect for a dance or fitness studio, which it was at that time. All of these nice things belong to the business, which is in the contract. So do the air cons, the ducting, the wallpaper, even the partition walls we put in. I see where this is going. They paid for a lot of repairs, therefore they're going to take it out. In about 3 days, we had the place gutted out back to the concrete shell of a building. Everything was left as per the contract, fit for use. Once we had relocated to a new, cheaper property in a better part of town, come on, good job, and started the necessary renovations, a past student mentions she works for the main property listing website in this country. There are really no other options. She suggested that if the listed pictures do not match what the property is like in real life, and if complaints are made of this, the listing will be reviewed and possibly removed. Strangely, 56 students and ex-students decided that their husbands/boyfriends, fathers, mothers, whatever, that the listed photos did not look like the breeze block large open space it was in reality. Both the realtors and landlord listings were removed and they were blacklisted from the website. We now have a larger, nicer studio for 70% the original rental cost, and last time I drove by, the original space was still empty. Greed, homie. That's what happens when you get a little bit greedy. That's what happens when you start asking for the money. Over treating people good. That's greed. I'm a little confused. Why in the world would she expect you to just leave everything there with your tail tucked between your legs? Did she actually think you wouldn't rightfully pull everything belonging to you? That's some entitled horse poop. One of you come sit down. Harry, come here. Everybody, this is Harry. Say hi to Harry.
Hi, Harry.
Not you.
Sorry.
Stop talking. Say something.
Hello.
Stop talking.
Okay.
Everybody, Harry's hanging out with me. This is my friend Harry. Harry was on set with me in London when we shot the show Dinner with the Parents. Look at this clip of Dinner with the Parents, huh?
Not you, dingus. Not me. You haven't heard about tonight.
She's quickly
Yeah, I
become
have.
an internet
Aunt Amy and Uncle
sensation.
Mitch are coming over. For
No.
These days,
I'm talking about the last minute edition.
the hippopotamus seems to be everywhere.
Had an owner of a strip mall double, almost triple rent for every business in his place. That was last summer. Guess what? They are still empty. 3 of the stores just closed, and they said they weren't making much anyway. 2 big name stores are building. Short-term greed over long-term seems silly. That's so true, isn't it?
Short-term greed.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that sounds silly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great contribution from Harry. Let's do it. Let's do a new one. He's kind of coming in with no context. Okay,
Yeah.
This is the longest one, so I want you to weigh in on this. Okay, here we're gonna scoot you in a little.
Thanks, man.
Listen to this song.
Sweet revenge, sweet revenge.
What do you think of that?
I think it's great. I think it will go to number 1. Do you regret asking me to come over?
Don't patronize me. Cruise ship terror. Day 1 of a 7-day cruise, and everyone is boarding and trying to get their bearings and general orientation of the ship. My wife and I asked for directions to our cabin so we could drop off the few small bags we carried on with us. As the crew member who was stationed near the lobby area of the elevators gave us directions, another guest and his wife overheard, and they passed by, and I then heard the gentleman say to his wife, "How stupid do you have to be to not understand that if your cabin number starts with a 7, it means your cabin is on deck 7." What are your thoughts so far?
I agree with the guy who said it, but I wouldn't have said it.
You do?
Yeah, like but I wouldn't have said it aloud. But in my head, I'd have been like,
Do you go on a lot of cruises?
never been on a cruise. I've been
How-
on a ferry once
Of course you have. It's a very British thing.
between Dover and Calais.
I don't know any of those words. I let that one go. We all waited for the next available elevator, and when it arrived, a few people hopped on, including the asshat that mumbled about us being stupid for inquiring about the location of our cabin. As my wife and I gathered our bags to join them, I asked for someone to hold the doors, but was greeted by the same voice declaring, "Sucks to be you," and watched as he purposely reached for the elevator floor buttons, encouraging the doors to close in our faces.
2 things.
Go on.
I regret associating myself with the guy.
Yeah.
He's an arsehole.
Yeah.
Secondly, I'm loving the use of the word encouraging.
Yeah, encouraging the doors closed. It's a very anthropomorphic. That's really good. What a dick.
Yeah, just unnecessary.
Yeah, just a jerk, huh?
Yeah.
Good lord. Taking the next elevator, we made it to our cabin and dropped off our bags and got acquainted with our room. I noticed how simple the remote control to the generic flat screen television was, very basic, and for some reason that struck me as interesting for such a luxurious ship. We left the room and went up to the Lido deck for a quick lunchtime buffet. Lido deck? Libido? Lido? What does that mean?
Well, back home that would be a swimming pool. So you have Tooting Bec Lido, for example, in London, which is an open to the public, open air pool.
So Lido means pool?
I assume so.
See, I would go on a cruise ship except for seasickness and fear of drowning.
And the people.
And the people and the disease.
Yeah.
Just everything. If I could have a ship all to myself in a contained bathtub that has rafts all around, I would do it.
Okay.
No motion in the ocean whatsoever. Just a safe
Story of my life.
ship. I'm going to move on. It was there that I saw Mr. Asshat without him seeing me. I kept an eye on him with the purpose of simply being able to avoid him, but then I decided that I would really like to know where their cabin was. I didn't know at the time why. I just concluded that information would probably be good to have. Honestly, I'm with him on this one. I would do a little recon.
Oh, just get the intel.
I would just go in and be like, "Where do you live, Mr. Dick?" He said, "Sucks to be you." He said, "Sucks to be you" to a stranger?
That's wild.
That you're going to be trapped on a boat with for the next
I haven't
month?
thought about that. That's even more wild.
What a dummy. I didn't know at the time why. I just concluded that the information would probably be good to have, so I excused myself from my wife and followed them undetected until I discovered the location of their cabin. Thankfully, that didn't take long because that was their next stop. They were one floor below our floor and nearly in the same position, but on the opposite side of the ship. After that, I was relieved that we would probably not have very many more encounters with them and quickly rejoined my wife. That's a good thing. You find out your hater or your ex or whatever is on the other side of the ship. That's good, right?
It's good. I mean, I'm wondering what his wife is thinking. Like, is this a regular thing this guy does? Like, she's having her lunch
Yeah.
solo, and is she like, you know,
He's out there scoping for haters.
Classic
He's
Kevin.
out there just constantly going like this with binoculars to people in the distance. You know who that reminds? It reminds me of the scene in Mrs. Doubtfire where like Pierce Brosnan and Robin Williams is on the other
never
side.
seen it.
My wife and I spend a lot of time in casinos, and this trip was going to be no different. So, casino on the ship?
Oh yeah, that's a big thing.
I never understand that. I personally, I've never had the gambling bug. One time I was dating a girl whose mom handed me a $20 bill to gamble with. We were at a casino for the food. I was invited to go eat some food, and I felt so uncomfortable that the mom gave me $20 to like spend on the casino that I went to a slot machine very quickly. I put it in and I just did this over and over again until the money was gone. My wife and I spent a lot of time in casinos, and this trip was going to be no different. So after dinner that night, we freshened up for a long night of gambling that would most likely not end until about 3 or 4 in the morning.
That's a long night.
Dude, I am not built for that life. I can't do that.
I drove to Vegas, 6 hours there, did an hour and a half there before I had enough and drove home to LA.
Wow.
I hated it.
While waiting for my wife to get ready, I began examining that remote control again, and I deduced that those overly simple TV remotes were probably the same in every cabin, and as such, the remotes would probably work on any TV on the ship if they were brought close enough. You seeing where this is? Is this guy gonna break into the room?
I am thinking of the wife.
You guys are on a cruise together,
and they're not cheap.
They're not cheap.
This is something you've probably been saving up for quite a while.
Yeah.
You know, and I get the guy saying "sucks to be you." That's
jerk behavior.
Can I swear?
Sure. Yeah, and that's something that they're doing like deliberately in front of your wife too, to be kind of called out in front of your wife.
And I'm like, that guy, just you know, like go and enjoy the trip. Don't let him ruin the trip. And as the wife, you're sat there as your husband's putting a TV remote in your pocket.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
After scoping them out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to be by the pool.
It's like Mr. Bean is your husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put the remote control in my pocket and we went to the casino. At approximately 3:30 in the morning that night, I tested my theory. I visited the door of Asshat's cabin and pressed the remote control against the door, hit the power button. To my delight, the television sprung to life inside their cabin, and I could see the blinding light of it from under their door. The volume buttons worked just as effectively as the power button, and the volume of their TV reached maximum level in a quick second. I listened as startled people jumped from their bed and scrambled to find their own remote to shut down the disturbance. It was my pure bliss for 7 straight nights to shock them from their slumber with no one the wiser, because why would they ever suspect it was caused by anything outside their cabin?
Yeah.
This is going to get back to them. It has to. This Reddit thread is 18,000 upvotes. If anybody has read this thread, has heard a crazy ghost story of somebody being like, every night at 3:30 in the morning, the TV would turn on and it'd be so loud, you know.
It's sort of like, or a friend of a friend of a friend.
That's going to get back to them. The asshat is going to hear this and is going to read the story and be like, oh, it's me.
Do you know what the real joke could be if Mr. Asshat complained to the cruise company, being like, I've gone on this cruise, I didn't get a wink of sleep.
Yep.
And got some money off his cruise.
You know, sleep disturbance, he probably felt like shit that whole time.
Yeah.
He probably, like, if I was being woken up, you know, I have to keep my cats out of my bedroom door, because if I didn't do that, then they would be jumping on me, and then sometimes they'll scratch or, like, you know, waking me up early in the morning. I have to keep them out, because if I don't, you know, get a full night's sleep like many people, you feel just weird the next day. You're not able to function at your best self.
Yeah. And
so let's say I'm going to rate this out of 10 in terms of revenge. I'm going to rate this. It's obviously sweet revenge. I'm going to give this a good. This is very vindictive, but it's worth it. I think in this instance, the punishment is the exact same level as the crime, because you offended a man in front of his wife when they're there to like go on vacation and have fun. I give this a good 9.5 out of 10, maybe even a 10.
A 10-10.
I think so.
Are you somebody that gets offended in, like, you know, as a man in front of your woman?
It's hard not to. I think it's just the way I was raised, probably. Well, especially if they directed, you know, something at the woman I'm with. That's completely different. That's like a different switch that goes off in your brain, right? Have you ever gotten in a fist fight?
I once, in a bar in London called Cafe Sol. This girl that I was seeing, she got in an argument with some guy. I went over to sort of be like, you enjoy your night, we'll enjoy our night. And he sort of went, do you know who I am? And I winked at him and I slapped his ass. And I was like, no, but I'd love to find out. And he headbutted me really hard.
Ooh.
A Glasgow kiss, we call it.
A headbutt?
Yeah.
Headbutts hurt. Where did he get you? On the nose?
Yeah, and I thought I
Did it
handled
break?
like no, but I ran into the bathroom going, am I bleeding? Am I bleeding? Which I think perhaps. But then the next morning we woke up and I was like in my head going like, I've like really embarrassed myself. Like I was probably meant to sort of, and I sort of like rolled over and I was like, hey, you know, I'm so sorry. And she's like, I can't believe you headbutted that guy because, and I was like,
She thought you headbutted him?
yeah. And I was like, fucking let play.
Yeah. Did you correct her ever?
No.
If she sees this, she's going to be like, damn.
Yeah.
That's all right. Let her think that. That's so funny. What would you rate this? I think this is a 9.5 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10.
It's up there.
In revenge.
It's good revenge. It's very fair revenge. This guy is well rehearsed. Like he knows this isn't his first rodeo.
Yeah.
In revenge.
He's done something like this before.
I dare I say you'll see that username in this feed quite a lot.
Yeah. Okay, I need you to get real close.
Oh god, I'm not falling for this again.
Because right now we're going to enjoy some eye bleach. Oh yeah! He wants more pets!
That's a cute lamb. Eye bleach sounds like a bad thing.
No, it's a good thing. It's stuff like this.
Yeah, for sure.
It's thing that cleans your eyes after. Oh my gosh, look at this lamb. Oh my, it is. Oh wow.
Do you eat lamb at Easter?
No.
Okay.
Is that a thing? People eat lamb during Easter? Oh, look at it. Look at it asking. It's asking for more pets.
My dog Margot does exactly that.
That's crazy. Do you ever watch videos like this and immediately go, why do we eat animals? I'm having a little bit of that experience right now where I'm like,
Yeah, but
we really eat animals.
then you have a bacon sandwich and you're like, oh yeah, that's why.
But pigs are like one of the most intelligent animals. Do you know that?
Have you got a pig filing your taxes or something? It's
Frankly, I do. Actually, no. My accountant is just fine. I think I should probably do an outro.